Personal injury attorney Stewart Vance from the Vance Law Firm standing by this morning to answer your legal questions live on air. As always, we remind our viewers that you are a personal injury attorney. What does that mean? What do you do?
That is exactly right. We represent people who have been injured by no fault of their own, whether that's a small fender bender, whether it's a catastrophic 18-wheeler accident, maybe it's on the job injury, maybe it's at a place of business where you slipped, tripped, fell over something that you shouldn't have been there and you should have maybe been warned about it. So anytime there's been any sort of injury, it wasn't your fault, it's worth a phone call to ask and find out what your options are.
I know a lot of people do call in about slip and falls,
right,
tripping in stores. Should you always call if you fall in a public place, in a public area?
Yeah, I would say always err on calling and finding out. Information is always good no matter what area it's in. There's no cost. It's a free call, free consultation. Just because you call and talk to a lawyer or come in and talk to me, it's not going to cost you anything. At least it can educate you more. You know, that area of law, premise liability, is it's different than just a car wreck, because premise liability, it puts a different burden on different places. If you have just a neighbor or friend over to your house and they slip and fell, your burden is higher because you just have a guest over. You're not making any money, versus someone who's doing business and hoping people come in to spend money. So if you're trying to attract people to your facility, you have a higher duty to make sure things that shouldn't be there aren't there. Or that if something happens, that you're on alert. What we typically think of is, okay, a grocery store or a place like that, and something they slip on the floor. Well, if something, they can't control if someone knocks a banana off onto the floor, or a grapefruit or something that gets crushed. Well, as long as they're noticing it or checking it regularly and they see it and clean it up, they're not exposed to any liability. It's the ones that they should have seen it laying there, 3 hours and no one picked it up, and now it's caused a problem. That's where some culpability or liability could come into play. So businesses typically know that, and they have processes in place to make sure those potential injuries aren't there. It's the ones it's the places that aren't very run well, is what I've seen over my 30 years of experience, and they aren't doing what they should be doing. And so those type of things do happen. We'll walk people through those areas of the law. Same thing with medical malpractice. There's a higher burden in our state in that area of law, but it's always worth a call, because a lot of times I can speak to the person, give them some options, what they should do, or they should consider before they hire a lawyer, or they should, yes, absolutely have a lawyer, and you should be acting on that right now. We can walk them through those things.
One location, and I'm not calling anyone out, I promise, that comes to mind as we're in the new school year. We're getting close to football season. A lot of parents, some older people, will be going to high school football games, college football games, cheering on their grandchildren. Does the same apply there? If you fall there, should they give you a call too?
Yes, absolutely, and that's another area. It's sort of like, there's the area of it's just a guest at your home, versus you want to you're inviting the public there, but the high school football stadiums are not there to make money. They're there to put on the entertainment. Now, they do charge tickets and they do have concessions, but that's a little different burden than the actual store that's have people come in to make money. So yes, it's always worth asking, because a lot of it, and what the legal term is, open and obvious. If the condition that caused the trip or the fall is open and obvious and you should have seen it, you can't hold them responsible. And so it's the hidden ones, or the ones that aren't foreseen or aren't marked well. So most places that have the city, the counties, the school, a lot of public schools play at Crampton Bowl and some other, they're aware of those, and so they do a good job of making sure those places are in the right condition and that people are on watch and look out for those kinds of things. If there's a restroom where someone's had a big spill, usually they're on top of it enough to know, hey, we're getting this cleaned up, put a cone out or letting us know. They do a good job. But yes, the answer to your question, always call, because it's worth finding out. I may tell them the exact same thing. Hey, I don't think you have a case. Or, yes, I think you do have a case. So always call. It's the free call. It's not going to hurt to find out.
Just something to keep in mind. I know some of those scrimmage games already starting this Friday. Right. So keep that in mind if you're heading out to cheer on those kids or grandkids. And stay with us. We'll have more Alabama Live when we come back. Plus, here's that number to give us a call. It's 420-9732 to get your legal questions answered live on air by Stewart Vance from the Vance Law Firm.